Hey guys, and welcome back to Bricks and Coffee. Today we have a 3-in-1 Lego build set called Fierce Shark with Treasure Chest. It is 379 pieces. Today we're going to be doing the shark build and do the other builds of the anglerfish and the manta ray that you see on the back here. Those will be in future videos. But during today's build, I wanted to try something new with you guys and talk about fun facts regarding the life of the great white shark. I'm pretty excited about this. Um, Hopefully, you guys find it exciting too and maybe learn a little bit something new. So, for now, I have coffee, we have Legos, so let's get to building. So this set does come with 3 bags and 3 building booklets, one for each animal. Like I said, today we'll be doing the shark. So let's get started. So all the information I found in the video today, I found through different research online. I am not a marine biologist, but I do highly encourage everyone to complete their own research for accuracy. So during our build, we are tracing the life of the ultimate ocean wanderer from a helpless and hidden 4-foot baby to a 5,000-pound global super voyager that can sprint across entire planetary oceans without ever truly going to sleep, which is crazy to think about. So grab your coffee because we are breaking down the complete mind blowing life cycle, daily habits, and record breaking marathons of the great white shark. I'm super excited. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a lot of fun. So let's start out from the very beginning because great white sharks do not start out as the terrifying apex predators that we see in all the movies. In fact, when they are born, they are strictly forbidden from entering the deep ocean. A female great white carries her young internally for a massive 18 months before giving birth to a litter of live pups. So they're not in shark eggs, they are live pups. At birth, these pups are already 4 to 5 feet long, but they are incredibly vulnerable. They lack the massive fat-rich livers and advanced internal heating systems of the adults. So if a baby shark tried to swim out into the freezing, deep open ocean, the cold water and intense pressure of it all would probably literally kill them. So where do they grow up and stay safe? They spend their childhood in highly protected coastal nurseries. There are only a handful of these that are scientifically confirmed globally. I'm sure that there are a lot more, but there's just not a lot that are confirmed. So there's like the New York Bight stretching from Montauk in New Jersey, or the shallow shores of Southern California and Baja. So in these warm, shallow waters, big predators can't easily reach them, and they have plenty of food. And so the pups spend months or even years playing it safe in those shallows. But as they grow past 8 feet long, their biology undergoes a massive upgrade. Their bodies become true engineering marvels. Adults grow up to 20 feet long and weigh over 5,000 pounds, and they carry up to 300 serrated teeth. And even though we will not be putting 300 teeth in this Lego build, it's crazy to think about. But their real adult superpower, that is that they become endothermic, which means that they are warm blooded. So their internal wiring allows them to keep their muscles and organs significantly warmer than the surrounding freezing ocean water. So this brand new internal heating system gives them insane stamina, and that allows them to hit hunting sprints um, that go up to 35 miles per hour. And once that system kind of activates in their body, their coastal childhood is officially over. They get their magical global passport and they head into the deep open water. And once they are fully grown, their habits and habitats revolve entirely around two things, and that is finding high energy food and surviving what I think is a terrifying biological quirk. So, first, let's talk about the menu. As juveniles, in their nurseries, their teeth are pointed and sharp. Those are built for catching small fish and rays, but as adults, their teeth flatten out and become heavily serrated. And that is because their diets shift entirely to high energy blubber. So they target temperate coastal waters where they can kind of ambush their prey. They don't actually chew their food though. They bite and they violently thrash their heads and shake whatever meat free, often breaching completely out of water in those spectacular shots that you see, and where it's almost gravity defying um, as an ambush attack. So, to find this food, adults rely on a literal sixth sense that they have. If you look closely at a great white snout, you'll see tiny jelly filled pores. They are called ampullae of Lorenzini. I probably did not pronounce it correctly. I will display it on screen here. These act as an organic metal detector, allowing them to sense the microscopic electrical impulses of prey's movements from miles away. But hunting isn't the hard part. The real logistical nightmare is for them to figure out how to sleep because great whites are obligate to ram ventilators. So they completely lack the muscles that are required to pump water over their gills manually. So they rely entirely on their forward momentum to force oxygen rich water into their mouths and out through their gills. And if an adult great white just stops swimming, it stops breathing, it sinks, and it suffocates. There is a hack for this that we'll go over in a minute, but that is terrifying. So, how do they rest? They enter a state called restful alertness. So, instead of completely shutting down like we do, parts of their conscious brain power down to save on fuel, while their spinal cord takes over an autopilot to keep their tail moving. They are quite literally sleep swimming through the open ocean with their eyes wide open. And in certain unique habitats, like the Guadalupe Islands, divers have seen them drop down into shallow currents near the sea floor, and they base directly into a heavy underwater stream and just kind of park themselves. The natural current does all the breathing work for them, putting the shark into a completely catatonic rest state while remaining totally still. And that is their ultimate ocean hack um, for getting better sleep while having to move in order to breathe. But this does bring us to the final, most incredible stage of an adult great white's life. So they're epic, and those are mind boggling treks across the planet. For decades, humans kind of thought that great whites just wandered aimlessly around local beaches, but tracking data shows us that they follow predictable, highly structured annual migration routes that span thousands of miles across the entire ocean basins. So, if we take a look at the Pacific Highway, every winter, Pacific great whites completely abandon the sunny coast of California and Mexico. They swim 1,200 miles straight out into barren open ocean to a completely remote patch of water right between Baja and Hawaii. So science literally nicknamed this place as the White Shark Cafe. Once they reach the cafe, they start doing radical V shaped bounce dives, plummeting up to 300 feet straight down into the pitch black ocean over 140 times a day. Scientists believe that they are either hunting massive schools of deep sea squid in the dark, might I add, or they're utilizing this remote desert as a massive ocean singles mingle to find a mate away from the coastal disruptions. So, meanwhile, over on the Atlantic Highway, the sharks are running a completely different playbook. Comprehensive real time tracking data from OCEARCH, which is OCEARCH, that shows after spending the summer hunting in cool northern waters like Cape Cod and Nova Scotia, they become the ultimate ocean snowbirds. And as winter sets in, more than half of these massive Atlantic sharks push south and slip right through the Straits of Florida and pour into the warm, nutrient rich loops of the Gulf of Mexico, traveling all the way west to the Mexican border to keep their internal body temperatures stable. But the absolute crown jewel of shark tracks belongs to a single female shark named Nicole. In a legendary study by Marine Dynamics, Nicole was satellite tagged off the coast of Gans Bay, South Africa. Instead of staying local, she turned east and hit the open ocean and absolutely booted it across the Indian Ocean to Western Australia, covering over 6,000 miles in just 90 days. Then, just to prove that it wasn't a fluke, she turned around and swam all the way back to South Africa, completing a 12,400-mile round trip in under a year. Nicole proved once and for all that these animals aren't just local predators, they are international super voyagers that connect our local oceans globally. And from tiny, vulnerable pup hiding out in the shallow New York nursery to a sleep swimming, warm blooded titan crossing the Indian Ocean, the life of the great white shark is one of the most complex survival stories on Earth. But Nicole's journey also taught us something critical because these sharks cross entire planetary oceans, and a country by country approach to conservation just doesn't work. A shark protected in South African waters might swim right into danger thousands of miles away. And if we want to save the ultimate hunter, we have to protect their global highways. So, could you handle autopilot, sweep swimming, and journey across the ocean? Let me know in the comments. Smash the like button if you learned something new, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next video as we build and do a deep dive into the anglerfish. Until then, have a great day out there. Bye.